Hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, want to cover this first. Before we get into the patch notes, there isn't too terribly much this time around, so hopefully it won't be that bad if you haven't seen them already. There is at least one thing that was left out, and we will touch on that in the Chinese notes when we get to it. But first, the Elder Rift. There's an event coming up, of course, in the patch notes. It's called the Rift Racer. The Rift Racer event is returning. Speed is key in that one, per usual, and, well, yeah, have at it if you want to. It's there, of course. But what I wanted to make show of here is, look, we still do not have the Mirror Jewel. This has been... I've seen multiple people ask about this the past couple of days, especially just the other day. And it is what it is, right? I said don't hold your breath to it. We did have one every month since March. And that's 8 months in a row that we had the Mirror Jewel event once a month. However, this time around, they've dragged their feet. Who knows what the case may be this go around. Some people say it's because of the multiple gem surge events overlapping and such and so on and so forth, but I still say nah. At this point, I would honestly prefer them to wait until the 6th of the upcoming month and do it on the 6th of every month going forward. So that way they are on the same page with the two companies on, how they operate the servers for once. For once, I'd like to see them be on the same page and just call it good, because that would make things a lot simpler on everybody, including them. So just make the Mirror Jewel event happen on the 6th and be done with it, Simple. Very, very simple fix. Everybody should be happy with that, and we can move forward and hopefully get everybody on board for more of the same things on global and the Chinese servers from here on out. It would be glorious. Then we wouldn't have to have these constant discrepancies with like patch notes, multiple different patch notes, or multiple different versions of the same game. So yeah, anyway, there's that. Okay, rant over, rant done. Let's get into it with the actual patch notes here. Try to point out the things that really stand out. There's a lot of the same repeating things, like the event center, starting over those same recurring events that we get throughout that, so we're just going to gloss over that pretty quickly, but nonetheless. Alright, here we go. Now for the Blizzard notes is what we're going to take a look at first, the global notes. Alright, here we go. December 10th to December 21st, we'll get a login glimpse preview of the next major update, which we are not at yet. This is like a mini one, so don't expect too much out of this one that we're getting currently, but we'll continue further into the story going in towards the end of the year and into the next year. So that is what it is. That's pretty much the long and short of that. We will get 100% bonus XP for the Battle Pass around that time of December 10th to December 21st. So, quick experience boost and things of that nature, of course. Alright, moving down. Here is the next event center when the current one that we are on will end December 10th. And then the next one starts, the next one starts on December 10th through January 7th, of course, with all the usual fare. Survivor's Bane yet again in rotation, Conqueror in rotation, Trial of the Hordes, Fractured Plane, the usual stuff. And then this is the Rift Racer event returns, is what I had made mention of for the Elder Rifts. They're opening it before. It used to be at certain set times. Now they're opening this up to where you can run this anytime you like, which is good. Honestly, the time-gated nonsense is very, very irritating, so I'm glad they did it away with that. Really, honestly, don't still care about this event too much. The rewards don't seem to be all that. They don't even make mention of them, really. They say, oh, you get and rewards bountiful. Well, it's great, but you didn't list any of them here at all in the notes. So, yeah. You just kind of have to wait and see what they're going to be, I guess. Because, yeah, they didn't really say anything there at all. Kind of irritating. Changes the Prodigy path. It's basically for those that want to buy some of those upgrades instead. They made it a little bit more simpler and a little bit less costly, I guess. Like literally less costly. Lower price point, they said, for those that haven't purchased some of the stuff. And then of course they said the people that already have been up to this point, oh, you won't really notice too much of a difference at first, but over time this change will give players that may have not purchased access to rewards at a lower price point, which, so take that for what you will. That's the usual bit, like, oh wait, so those of us that have already purchased are kind of getting screwed. Maybe, I don't know. I don't look into it myself, so I couldn't say yay or nay to that at all. And honestly, they're not going to sway me still to do that anyway, regardless of the fact. This one's interesting here, and it's kind of funny in how they wrote this out here. Feature updates: buff bar tooltip improvements. We've added the ability to create hyperlink text inside the buff bar tooltips, so we can provide short descriptions of text while still providing the ability to give longer descriptions as a pop-up next to the link. But here's we go. One of the main places you will see this is the buff for strife. Now here, right here, this is the part that kills me. As you can see below, the text displayed can now be selected to display more details about the buff's functionality. As you can see below. Yeah. Where below, Blizzard? As you can see below, the text displayed. Okay. So that's not helpful at all, because you did not display any images here showing exactly what you're talking about. So we have to just take this for word by word verbatim here and get that image in our head and wait until this goes live and actually see it underneath our little avatar and see what actually has changed. But mostly this is talking about the strife buff. They said they're basically going to make it easier to read, but you know, it still functions the same way, but this is just changing how we can actually see the buff itself, or the debuff I should say, under our tool, our buff bar under our avatar picture frame. So that's still funny as hell though. They're like, as you can see below, the text displayed. Yeah, okay, sure, we can really see that below. Anyway, moving on. Changes to D to Valor. This is still a highly contested topic, and rightfully so. And honestly, I still say this whole system just needs to be just abolished, removed, gotten rid of. Pick one. If anything, give us like a flat rate across the board, because it's really not doing anybody any favors anymore. This is just another unnecessary complication that doesn't need to be. I think this is long since past its use. And I think it should just go away. It's plain and simple. I know that's to stop people from, you know, initially it was to stop people from server hopping too much, but let's be real here. Just cut it out. Just cut it out. Save us the hassle. But in this case, they said they were increasing the amount of marks that can be handed out by the clan leaders and officers and such for shadows. Of course, shadows is where the most of this issue arises, because of the limited amount of those to be handed out in a clan, and rightfully so. Like I said, again, I do believe this whole system just needs to go away, and we wouldn't have this issue at all. It's gotten more complicated over the course of time here with the changes that they have been making, and they always do this. I don't understand it. They always make things more complicated than is necessary at all. So again, real simple fix. Remove the system. Remove this deeds of valor. Remove the stupid badges and just be done with it. And we can move on. But it is what it is. This is what we're getting up next. They say they're going to continue to monitor this and make changes going forward still. But again, yeah, just be done with it. And of course, the other, you know, pitchforks and torches for the market yet again of the rank 1 or anything that is rank 2 to rank 5 normal gems. Or wait a minute, it says yeah, if you have any rank 2 to 5. So apparently we couldn't sell anything higher than that on the market all this time. But now they're being they will be automatically dismantled into rank 1s. If you have anything on the market, that's what's going to happen to those if you don't pull them off already. And if you try to sell anything that is 2 to 5, well, this remains to be seen how well this is going to work. Hopefully it will work as they say it does here, but I still see some people probably trying to push it to see if they still can. But hopefully it means you go and try to sell a rank 2 and above normal gem, it will dismantle to a rank 1 automatically. So yeah, that's happening on the 26th, so coming up with this update. So there's that. Is what it is. Still is what it is. Now this one here, special effects adjustments. This is a graphics setting to just kind of reduce some of the excessive stacking clutter on the screen and simplify it down a bit. So it's got its moments. It's good and bad. Sometimes you still need to see all that, but at the same time, as we've known over the course of time, the game has turned into, especially in PvP, lots of AoE and gem throw up all over the place, and hopefully this will, maybe that'll help reduce some of that a bit, and who knows, it might even reduce some lag as well, because it's just too much stuff on the screen all the time. War games optimizations. They made a couple of changes here. I'm not going to go into this stuff too entirely much because I really don't get into it much, but they're taking a lot of feedback on this, which is good because the community at large, of course, has been holding more and more and more events of nature, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see that this was made available and the community has taken hold of that and enjoyed it so far, from what I've understood. And did like a free-to-play Bout of the Realms, that kind of thing. Well, as free-to-play as possible anyway, within certain parameters. But you get the idea. Community coming together on this and saying, hey, we want something better. We're going to make the most of it. Let's hold an event and have at it. So that's cool. Speaking of Bout of the Realms, good luck to everybody now, because it is now, I think, cross-server competition going forward here. So, yeah. Yep, it's... yeah, have fun. those of you that are still in it, and of course, I did watch the most recent one. Oh, and yeah, on a quick side note on that one, I was going to talk about this in another video. I'll probably still bring it up again, but a quick mention. I was looking over everybody that was in the most recent Battle of the Realms, and of course, all their stats, armor, and resistance seem to be where everything is dumped heavily into their secondaries. So from 12k plus resonance whales, that was pretty much the standard across the board from all of them. So obviously we favor armor and resistance above even armor penetration or potency, which is crazy. Now granted, necros of course is still going to be potency and things of that sort, but again, I checked every single one that I could really quickly in that when I was spectating it, and I'll show it in another video and talk about it further. But anyway, that just a little side note on that one. Cheating prevention in PvP matches. Here we go. They're locking down finally, because this was something that it's sad that certain players went to such lengths to still try to get what they think is an edge in the game and exploiting the system, which is horrible. But they finally locked down the remnants, the demonic remnants, and whatever else that we get from the Helliquary raids that gives us combat rating. Players were taking those off entirely and going in, so that they were getting put into lower combat rating lobbies and things of that sort, which is just disgustingly sad. So you are locked. As soon as you queue up, all that stuff is locked down, or at least in theory. Hopefully in practice, when this goes live, that's how it's going to be, because that's what they say it's going to happen. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, let's see. In an effort to help prevent foul play, we're implementing mode-specific restrictions on items, legendary gems, Paragon, and other systems to prevent players from manipulating combat power. Yeah, and they list further down below, but there's changing the, let's get through this stuff first though. They're changing the Spectral Allies AI behavior a little bit, which is good because they're really dumb. They're really dumb. No longer continuously teleport back to your position if you're dead. Have the ability to split themselves up to attack multiple targets when there are requirements for enemies to die at the same time. Oh, that's nice. And have ability to detect nearby priority targets or objectives and interact with them. So that's good too. So hooray, making improvements to the Spectral Allies. Oh, here we go. Updated cheating prevention measures. For Battleground, once you found a match, you will no longer be able to change your warband remnants. So that was the thing. And then when in combat, you'll be prompted that you can't replace your Paragon skills. Oh, I hope that's not I hope that's not a big pop-up or anything on the screen. Hopefully it's just a little sidebar message of some kind, because we don't need any more pop-ups. Hopefully that's not what that means, but anyway. Tower War. Once you found a match, you will no longer be able to change your warband remnants. See, look at that. It was a thing, sadly enough. Very sadly enough, it was a thing. And it's sad that it took them, honestly, this long as well to get that under wraps, but, you know, here we are. When in combat, oh yeah, same thing. Can't replace your Paragon skills. Wild Brawl. Once you found a match, you will no longer be able to replace the following: Legendary and normal gems, Paragon skills, runes, Helliquary, warband remnants. Wow, that was a lot of stuff that they had to lock down for Wild Brawl. I'm not surprised, honestly. That one was kind of still all over the place too. Some seem to be way more overly potent than others, even in that supposedly, you know, as free-to-play mode as you can get. The Battle Royale in this game, it still had its moments. So yeah, there's that. Nice to see they're cleaning that up finally. Oh, and they're doing something for Trial of Hordes as well. When matchmaking, the following can be replaced, but you'll still matchmake with the highest combat rating value previously equipped. So yeah, don't bother changing. It's not going to matter. It's not going to really do you any benefit. So just leave your gear on as is and just go in with it as is. So that's crazy that people were adjusting that even for Trial of Hordes too. Honestly, I never paid attention. I always did like the 5 or 6 matches required for the event center, and then I stop. But anyway, there's that. Future changes. Fabled wisps. They're going to... Any ones from like the lower difficulties will be turned into just generic Fabled wisps. And so that way you can use it going forward. I actually finally went through my bag, oddly enough. Right before this happened, I was like, why do I still have these? Can I destroy these at all? And I actually got rid of the very, very old ones. So now all I have are, let me see here. Yeah, I only have 8 and 9 wisps. I had like all the old ones I had 2 or 3 or 4 of. I didn't have enough to convert up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just getting rid of these. There's no point in... It's just clutter. It's unnecessary clutter, and you can destroy them. So I finally... It took me that long to finally say, yeah, let me clean this up and get rid of them, just because. But this is funny that we're getting this in the next update, like not long after I did that. So that's kind of comical at this point. Helliquary gauntlet rotation changes. Here we go. Okay, this was in the Chinese notes, and I wasn't sure if it was in here or not in the global notes, but... This one here, the Helliquary gauntlets will no longer rotate out immediately when new difficulties are added into the game. So there's not as much of a rush this time. And on the Chinese notes, they actually said we took community feedback, which is nice to see for them to make mention of. Oh, okay. And in this case, like, oh yeah, here we go. Previous set of Helliquary gauntlets will remain available for completion for 6 months after the new bosses are added to the game. Okay, so there we go. Actually, they don't say here. Okay, hang on. Let me go and bring up the Chinese patch notes because it'll actually say the dates. Nightmare Realm adjustment, which is the Helliquary gauntlet raids. The Nightmare Realm Calamity 7 through Inferno 7 through 9. Originally scheduled to close on December 17th, which is exactly what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and make my way there now. so you can see it will remain open until June 2026. That's significantly much longer time to complete it. So here we go. Show right now exactly. There it is. Right now it says December 17th. Hopefully when this update goes live, we'll see that alter and change to June 2026. That's what they're telling us. So there is that to consider. But yeah, that's going to be the change going forward, which is a good thing. They were rushing those out quite a bit. And I know recently there was a list that was made, and for people to do wanted to clear for the gauntlets. Our clan and such was doing that and organizing some runs over the weekend, and but there is that. So hopefully that'll take the edge off, and hopefully it won't be so much of an ordeal now, which is good, honestly. Some of those they just rushed, I think, a little bit too much. All right, here we go. Balance changes. We're not getting them until the next major update. Along with the new we're getting new essences for the next set of difficulties. Of course, we're getting Inferno 10, 11, and 12. They haven't come up with a different name for it yet. We're still in Inferno, and no stat crunch as of yet. So there is that as well. I'm curious to see how long they're gonna go this time. Yeah, so I don't know. It kills me too that I've seen some of the partner program people, mostly, well, one in particular so far that I've noticed, saying in their thumbnail and their titles and whatever else, saying, "Oh, we're getting new essences." Yeah, not in this update though. So stop it. Just stop. We're not getting it until the next update in mid-December. So stop. It's not in this patch notes. It's not in this update. So just cut it out. Say what it is, please. I know you're trying to, bait people in, but no. Just no. Cycle of Strife. Bye-week changes. So, of course, if you get a bye in the Shadow Wars and such of that nature, you automatically receive 9,000 experience after the match ends in that bye week, which is, you basically just show up. Handling of experience points in the current season will stay the same. Okay, there you go. Region-specific game additions. Region-specific. Here we go. This is a part that always bothers me, but we'll see. When entering Battleground, when selecting the team member, the names and wins of both players will no longer be displayed. Okay. And build sharing optimizations. We've optimized what's shared for player data in the build recommendation system, which allows you to see more build setups shared by players from other servers. Oh, okay, well, there you go. All right, and then bug fixes, aha, from Blizzard as usual is a laugh. There were some bug fixes already in the Chinese notes, but I mean, nothing too crazy over the top, and I'm not about to waste any more time reading those right now. But it's funny because every time Blizzard will roll out the bug fixes like days later. Like the last set they released them 8 days later from the initial patch notes that the Chinese notes had listed those same bug fixes on. So they were already done, already implemented, and things of that sort, or they were already in the patch notes for when the next patch was going to go live with those bug fixes. But Blizzard waits, like, they waited 8 days to release those when it was already mentioned. So, again, that kind of conflict I'd like to see end. And to get everybody back on page, make back mention to what I did at the start of the video about, getting the the Mirror Jewel event on the 6th of every month like they have over on the Chinese servers. So that everybody's same. Everybody gets on same. Everybody on the same page. Stop all the convoluted mess and 2 different versions of the game. Let's, put everything together so that's a lot simpler for everybody involved. reiterate that point, but anyway. All right, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, as always, And I will try to roll out a couple things here, but I was waiting to see for these patch notes and see what they had to offer. Again, nothing too overly spectacular, the usual fare of most of the returning events, but there's a couple mentions this time around, but nothing too crazy. So they're getting better, hopefully, cross fingers, knock on wood, all that kind of stuff. They're getting better as far as not deviating from each other as much, and that's what we've been wanting to see, like, since the start of the game, honestly. So anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world, and far as always, take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. It's the best we can do for sure, believe me on that one. Until next time, see you.